I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. I'm going to try to answer a number of questions with this video. Somebody asked me about supersetting or trisetting. Would that get them ripped? And the answer is no, because supersetting, trisetting, speeding up your workout, doing more reps, elevating your heart rate while you are working out is anaerobic. In other words, the activity is so intense for the muscle that the body cannot take in enough oxygen. No matter how hard you're breathing, the body cannot take in enough oxygen to therefore clear the waste products from the muscle. So the body can no longer burn fat because it's not taking in enough oxygen. If it was taking in enough oxygen, it would be aerobic. If it was taking in enough oxygen, it could then burn fats, and the oxygen would clear the waste products so you could exercise indefinitely. But when you exercise super hard, like high-intensity interval training, as people call it, or supersetting or trisetting, what happens is the muscle becomes overwhelmed. You cannot take in enough oxygen, and therefore the muscle switches to burning sugar. Not a bad thing, but when you're burning sugar, there's no oxygen present to clear the waste products, and then all of a sudden they begin to accumulate, and that's the burn you feel, and then pretty soon it becomes overwhelmed and you have to stop exercising. So you can see that with high-intensity interval weight training, supersetting, trisetting, you are exercising the muscle intensely, but again, you're not burning tons of fat calories because you can't do it for long periods of time. You pick up a dumbbell, do an exercise, do another exercise, do a third exercise, and man, you're wiped after about 60 seconds or 90 seconds. That's not fat burning. That's sugar burning. Not bad because it firms your muscles and it burns a certain amount of calories, but it's not utilizing large amounts of fat or fat calories. So this means that if you want to get cut, you got to stop thinking in terms of how you're lifting weights. You got to think in terms of diet and more effective cardio. The second part of the question is people were saying, Steve, if I exercise in the morning, will that raise my metabolism all day long? If I exercise on an empty stomach, will that raise my metabolism all day long? If I did this, if I did that, if I exercise naked, would that make my metabolism run all day long, or would it elevate it? What if I did it while I was eating a protein shake? Yeah. No. An elevated metabolism can be defined in a couple of ways. When you are in shape, your body utilizes oxygen very well, like a marathoner, like a marathon runner. So what happens with a marathon runner, they have tremendous aerobic capacity. So when they're sitting around drinking coffee or chit-chatting or working, their body, which uses oxygen very efficiently, is burning a greater percentage of fat calories. It's not burning more calories, but it's burning a greater percentage of fat calories. That could be defined as an elevated metabolism because the metabolism is more efficient. It's not necessarily elevated, but it's more efficient, so it's burning greater fat calories. The other way of defining an elevated metabolism is you're working, you're using your body, so your heart rate is elevated, you're breathing harder and faster. But when you exercise, I don't care if it's in the morning, afternoon, or in the middle of the night. The important thing is that you exercise. The body recovers and recuperates rather quickly. So your metabolism is not elevated all day long. That's one of these crazy myths. I want to leap through the computer and choke people when they talk about that. Okay, if your metabolism is elevated, you are either in really great shape, so you're burning fat throughout the day, or you're actually doing something. And you know the old saying, when you get in better and better shape, it lowers your resting heart rate? That would be considered a lowered metabolism. In other words, you are using less energy to keep your body alive. But hopefully, like the marathon runner, because you are utilizing oxygen so well, your heart rate is slowing down. Your body's become more efficient utilizing that oxygen and delivering it to the muscles and having those muscles use it. It's slowing down, but it's burning a greater percentage of fat calories. Now, last point, when you are in great shape and you begin to exercise, your metabolism kicks up and begins to work very efficiently. In other words, you're taking in oxygen, You're burning fat, and boom, you can go for long periods of time at a relatively high level or high pace without becoming anaerobic because you're in such good cardiovascular shape. But does exercising in the morning on an empty stomach while you're eating protein, naked, and all this other stuff elevate your metabolism all day long? No, it doesn't. If that were the case, there wouldn't be as many fat people in the world. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard, love your body.